So another long post here to talk about something that I see every day. I'm really concerned about, becoming really passionate about, and that is exploitation of a vulnerable adult. And the reason why I'm talking so much about it, and the reason why there's so many of these posts that I'm going to be putting up here, is because of the magnitude of the problem. The vastness of the number of cases in which an elder person's money is being taken, either slowly bled away, a couple $1,000 here, a couple $1,000 there, or in a real quick instance. Again, cases I'm dealing with right now where, the moment somebody gets a POA, kid or whatever else, they're taking mom, dad's money and transferring it into their own name. But the incidence of this is vastly underreported, and that's why it's so significant, so important to talk about. Let's talk about this elder generation, right? Grandmom, granddad, mom, dad, kind of the older people. I know we're getting at the end of the Depression generation, but the greatest generation has vast amounts of money, largely because these people worked, largely because these people were responsible with their money, and largely because of this beautiful thing called compounding, right? So the compounding of the money that they tucked away and saved allowed for this vast amount of money that's sitting there for these older folks. It's their money. And also stock market. I mean, look at when they place all this money in, we got a vast stock market that's kind of creeping up there or shooting up there. And because of that, these people are vastly resource heavy. They've got money sitting in accounts. And the kids know about this largely. But there becomes this problem where the kids start to believe that they have the right, somehow they're entitled to help themselves to mom or dad's money. And again, in the extreme circumstance in which the kid just outright steals it, and yeah, it's theft. You go in there, particularly using a power of attorney, or you got some fiduciary capacity. Mom and dad's got money, and you decide you're going to help yourself, or under the guise of helping mom invest this money. So you take it out of the 401ks or the bonds or wherever they've had it for decades responsibly, and you decide that it needs to be in a Bitcoin account, or you decide you're going to put it in some reckless tech stock or something else like that. That's exploitation. And the reason why it's underreported and understood is because other siblings that may know that the kid is exploiting mom, or maybe not know that they're exploiting mom, but knowing that they're taking mom's money, knowing that they're abusing money. Sometimes that kid is the smart one, the favored kid, the whatever. And they had been trusted by mom or dad, either rightly so or not rightly so. But sometimes these other kids that may not be the favorite one feel a bit estranged. It always astonishes me that we have families in which there is clearly a favored child. I hear that over and over again. I hope it's a vestige of the past, that elder generation, but it absolutely existed. And maybe that blonde-haired first child was the favored one, and all these other kids that come along later understand their place in the family, and that this one was the favored one. But there's a new generation now, right? And in 2025, even if mom or dad entrusted the care of their finances to this one over here, and even if mom and dad are still with it, but you, as the one sitting up there watching this from afar, understand that what this person, what him and the wife and the kids or whatever else over here are doing, even if mom or dad think it's okay, you have a responsibility over here to investigate into it. Sit down with mom or dad, talk to them about the fact that you're concerned about what's happening to their finances. And in the extreme case, you have a duty to report that to Department of Financial Services. There's anonymous reporting that can occur. There are reporters that are mandatory reporters, people that are in fiduciary responsibilities for elder folks, doctors, clergy, in some circumstances, attorneys. You find out that somebody's being exploited, you have a duty to report. But even if you're not a mandatory reporter, you're a sibling, you're a brother, sister of the victim, you're kids of the victim, you need to look into this, and you need to encourage reporting to state 800 number for exploitation. If there's nothing there, there's nothing there. But at least know what that 800 number is. I'll drop it here into the post and make that report. But let's talk about what a vulnerable adult is. It's not just an elder person. That's an important thing. It's a person 18 years or older whose ability to perform the normal activities of daily living or to provide for their care or protection is impaired due to a mental, emotional, sensory, long-term physical, developmental disability dysfunction. But let's read that again. Look how broad it is. Whose ability to perform normal activities is impaired due to mental, emotional, sensory. Who might that be? I've seen younger people who maybe they go through a bad divorce. They've got impairment, emotional, mental, sensory. I've seen people who've gone through accidents, maybe traumatic accidents. Again, they're impaired. They are a vulnerable adult, even if they're 30 years old. You may have that girlfriend of yours, that buddy, that spouse dies, traumatic situation. Maybe they start hitting a bottle. They get impaired, and then along comes somebody new or a kid or whatever else, and they start helping themselves to this person's money. That's a vulnerable adult. That's a person that's entitled to protection and something that we need to pay attention to. So what does that mean? Exploitation is someone else coming along, helping the vulnerable adult, and then breaching the fiduciary duty, misusing power of attorney, unauthorized taking of assets, misappropriation, misuse or transfer of money out of a joint account, intentional or negligent failure to effectively use a vulnerable adult's income or assets. Where's that? It's the one I've seen. It's interesting. So again, vulnerable adult has assets tucked away there. Maybe when the husband died in that accident or whatever else, or in that divorce, they get a pot of money over here. And the favored kid or whatever decides they're going to start helping mom or helping their friend with the money, managing the money. Money that should have been placed into, say, a responsible 401k account or something like that. The person that's helping decides to place it into a Bitcoin account or some crazy tech investment or something. That could fall into the category of negligent failure to effectively use money belonging to the vulnerable adult. So these are the kind of things to pay attention to. If you're someone that cares about this person that's vulnerable, friend of yours, buddy of yours, girlfriend, whatever, gone through a difficult divorce trauma, and you're kind of watching this from afar, and you're sensing that something's not right, you don't necessarily got to hire an attorney. 800 number, Florida Department of Financial or Elder Services, abuse hotline. Put a call in there to them. Let them take a look at it. Always sit down with an attorney. We'll talk in other videos about the concept of an injunction for protection of exploitation. These are all things that are real protections out there that can stop harm, real harm that's being done right away, and really encourage people to take advantage of and understand what those resources are.